Hello, everybody, and welcome in. It's a brand new episode of CLX Foundry Live, where we dive deep into somebody's build and put it together from the ground up. I'm your host, DJ Blue PDX, and joining me live right now from our studios in Wichita, Kansas, it is our lead technical expert, Paul Steffens, and our master builder, Zach Killingsworth. Gentlemen, hello.
Hi.
We got a few first things. First things have happened a lot this weekend. I got to officiate a wedding for starters.
Ooh.
That was wild. But nobody understood that I was doing it as a reverend for the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster, which is valid in California.
Nice. Of course it is.
All right, so we've got a fun build for our friend Cole in Texas, but I see some things we have never used before. So why don't you run us through this list real fast?
All right, so starting out with our processor, we've got the AMD Ryzen 9 7950X3D. To cool that, we've got our CLX Quench 360 AIO in white. For our motherboard, we've got an Asus Strix X870-A Gaming. Now this is the white version of the board that's going to look really nice on this build. For our memory, we've got 2 sticks of crucial 32 gigabyte DDR5 6000 speed, so a total of 64 gigs of DDR5 RAM in the system. For our storage drive, we've got a 1 terabyte NVMe drive from Kingston, and we've got 7 of our GameDS Aeolus M2 case fans in white right here. All of this going inside this white Evolve X2. For our video card, we've got an RTX 5070 Ti that is also white from Gigabyte, and for our power supply, we've got an ASRock 850 watt 80 plus gold.
Nice. You know how much I love the ROG Strix world. I dig it. But now, granted, we've installed 5070 Ti's before, but apparently, on
Thursday,
I was left out of the opportunity to be part of using an Eagle Gigabyte 5070 Ti. This is the first time I've set eyes on it, and it looks, just from the packaging, it's going to look great. I can't wait for us to get into it. There we go. Of course, chat, if you have any questions about anything you hear, terms that you may not be familiar with, all you got to do is ask. There's no wrong questions. That's what we're here for. We've got OCS Mart. What's going on? I did see Carlos Conchili is here. Welcome. Cosworth's in the house. Cosworth, you down to game today?
We love Chili and Carlos here.
Yeah. Okay. So, one thing to keep in mind, when you get shipped your PC, there's going to be a box that is with the PC that actually has all of the documentation, your spare parts and things. Please make sure to look at that and read that when it comes time to take your PC apart. Zach makes it look very easy, and there are times when it's not even remotely that simple. I speak from experience. All right. Now, we're getting into our motherboard. Now, this is an Asus, a ROG Strix X870A Wi-Fi gaming. I love ROG Strix. I have a ROG Strix board in my system. It is hands down, in my opinion, the best I've ever used. Ever.
The best. Like the Foo Fighters.
The best the gamer can get. There we go. Changed my name Saturday. Been trying to get the name for 3 years ago. 3 years ago, it came available out of the blue. Oh, because it used to be Chili con Carlos, and you're Carlos con Chili. Got it. That's why I've never changed my name in any gamer platform or Twitch or whatever else, because all it takes is me going once, and you have to wait for 30 days to get it. Nope. That 30 days, somebody's probably taken it. So, yeah. All right. Now, first up, let's talk about this. Hello?
Hello.
Hi. Sorry, you guys are frozen on my screen.
Oh, I see that. We are frozen. There we go.
There we go. All right. Now, as you take apart one of these amazing boards, and the ROG Strix are really, really great when it comes to heat dispersion and the manifolds they have all up on it. But really, look at that back design. That's incredible. The really fun part is when you get into the heat sinks and the connectivity. So the connectivity is actually what you really want to look for. There's so many ports there, but let's go ahead and talk about them. So I'm going to have you point these out as I say them because I'm just running down the list right now. So first of all, we've got two USB 4. Those are 40 gig ports, right? And two USB Type Cs with dual port alt mode, which is fantastic. 6 USB 10 gig ports. There's 5 Type A's, 1 Type C, and that's got up to 30 watts of fast charge, which is great. 4 USB 3.0s. Those are your 5 gig ports. Your display port, your HDMI port, your Wi-Fi and module, your 2.5 gig Ethernet port, which is fantastic. Your audio jacks, your optical SPDIF, and a BIOS flash button and a clear CMOS button, so you don't have to reach into your gear to get it changed. And that's what we call joy. Now, does this have the button?
Nope.
Whoa! Did you just snap that into place?
Yeah.
Did you already put it in there?
No.
Okay, good. All right, so to make this thing work and give it a brain, we're going to be putting in an AMD Ryzen 9 7950X3D. Now, these are really fun because they are exceedingly powerful, but they've got a little something extra. Paul?
So they are the X3D, so it uses their 3D V-cache technology, which is a way of stacking the cache vertically on top of the CPU die. Gives you a bigger surface area so you can fit more on there. When it comes to cache, more is better. This is a 16-core, 32-thread processor. It does have a base speed of 4.2 and will boost all the way up to 5.7.
Tammy Veal, hello. How are you? Cannot wait to buy my CLX Ra this week. Nice. Lido Drift asks a good question. Says, any advice for a board where one of the PCI ports came off? Try to put the pins back in with tweezers and a magnifying glass? Paul?
Yeah, if you're trying to put this slot back on, what they're talking about is this, like the by 16 slot. They might be talking about a different one than by 16, but yeah, that's going to be really hard to do. If it's not totally out of whack, you can. Well, this can just come off, and then there's just pins under there. It shouldn't come off, but it can. So you could get those lined back up, but yeah, good luck. It's pretty hard to do, and they're really fragile.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, obviously, we see what Zach's doing here, as we've seen before. Zach is screwing in posts for our cooling system. Zach?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so we want to make sure that we use the proper hardware, whether we're on AMD or Intel, and then it does go deeper if we're on AM4 or AM5, or if we're on an Intel 1700, 2066, 11, 5X,
18s,
you know, there's
40,000.
just want to make sure that you're using the right equipment to cool your device.
Now, when you're mounting it, it's kind of like putting on a tire. If you've never changed a tire, there are specific ways to do it. And Zach's going to explain that.
Yes, so we really want to go opposite catty corner and not in a circle. If we went in a circle, that would apply pressure on one side, and we want that pressure to be spread evenly over the whole processor.
Yeah. And just to note, the hoses are where they are because of how they're going to mount the radiator. Why is it important that we have those hoses in that position? Paul?
We want where the hoses go into the top of our radiator, so up here, we want this to be above the pump. Now, we could mount it the other way, but then our logo is going to be upside down, and we don't want that. So we're going to be putting this in the front of the case, in the top of the case, which is typically where we put these. Now, on the X2, we don't really have another option the way it's designed, but that's good. We want the radiator in the top to prevent any air in there to go to the pump.
And while we're talking about that, the power cable is also important because you don't want to put it somewhere that it's going to melt or burn or otherwise. So what's the best rule of thumb for how you're going to route that cable within the system so that you don't have a lot of bulk cabling?
Yes, so I like to gingerly route the cable underneath the posts, the standoffs, and gently. If you pull it too tight, that cable can get up onto your processor. Your processor is producing heat, and you can melt a cable. So that's why I just want to leave that little loosey-goosey under there.
There you go. Let's see here. Lito mentions that insurance will cover it, so it's either I try to fix it myself or take clippers to it so it doesn't risk further damage. The board's worth like $250 to replace. That is, yeah. Now, when he says take clippers to it so it doesn't do further damage, what does that mean?
Yeah, I'm not sure if you mean like cutting all the pins off or what. You can definitely just leave it there. It's not going to cause any damage. You just rip the slot off and leave those pins there. Hopefully you've got another like PCI by 16 slot you can use, so you don't really need that one, but sounds like a bad situation.
Yeah. I'll tell you what a good situation is. M.2s. So as you can see, Zach pulled off the thermal housing for our M.2, and this is going to be a 1 terabyte Kingston NVMe M.2. It's a terabyte. It's huge. But it's going to plug right in there. And here's the fun part about modern boards. They make it look very simple because it is very simple. And check that out. That heatsink is just flips right on top. It clicks in. That's wild. So as far as that feature, how many times have you seen that feature used on a board?
It's on the newer Asus stuff. So on their new lines, if you get something high end like this, it's probably going to have that.
One more thing we're doing, as you just saw Zach do, we got two 32 gig sticks of Crucial DDR5 6000 in black, which are fantastic. You might have noticed Zach flipping them around because they are not keyed the same. And that means the little notch is not in the direct center. It is slightly off. So you got to make sure you put it in the right way. And something we discovered and discussed last week is that if you're trying to change your RAM size, like from a DDR3 to DDR4 or to DDR5, you're going to have to get a new board because they're keyed completely differently. Paul?
That is correct. They are not backwards compatible, so you cannot put DDR3 RAM into a DDR4 slot or vice versa.
There we go. Now, watching him attach the fans to the radiator, the fun point about this is how it really, your CPU gets cooled off. So the liquid that's in the AIO, or all-in-one, travels through all the little fins there, and the fans cool it down. Paul, what's the best way to hook this up? Do you want the fans in front of it? Do you want it behind it? How do you tell which direction the fans are flowing? So many questions.
You want air to be pushing through the radiator. So typically most fans, if you don't see the fan grill like this, it's just all clean right here. This is where air is coming in and it's going to be pushing out the other side. So that's why we have it set up this way. The fans can push more air through than they can pull air through. So that provides better cooling doing it that way. And with this X2, we want to make sure we have this plate that you see sandwiched in the middle because that is the only way it will go in this chassis.
So you want to push it. Push it real good.
That's right.
Dear God.
That's salt and pepper, right?
Right?
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
my God, you had to ask.
Making sure. That was a little before my time, you know?
Oh, my goodness. I still had hair when that came out.
Oh, boy.
Oh, on a complete side note, Paul. Mm-hmm. So Paul and I had the most amazing experience at a hotel when we were in Boston.
I think it was Boston.
We had a hotel room that was not only just geared and wired for people, but you could turn the TV volume on in the bathroom, so you could hear the show as it's continuing to go as you do your business.
Yep.
Which was amazing.
I think the bathroom too. That was so weird.
I don't think there was ever anything other than ridiculousness on our TV.
That's all.
And what's funny is, even though MTV has technically shut down all music channels, it's still playing in hotels. Ridiculousness like never die. It will never die as a show.
Yeah.
Yes. So Ratlero says, so to have DDR5, you don't mount DDR3 near DDR2 to sum up the motherboard? Wait, what? Correct. I feel like there's so many problems with what you just said.
I don't see any problems. I see only facts.
If you have DDR5, you don't mount DDR3 near DDR2. Well, they're all completely different.
DJ,
yeah,
what's 2 plus 3?
5.
Boom.
Bam.
Oh, Jesus.
Big brain. Quick math.
Oh, hi. Thanks for checking in. I'm still a piece of garbage.
There we go.
Oh my
Now, can we just take two DDR3s together and get DDR6? I don't think that's how that works.
We'll see when DDR6 comes out on motherboards.
We'll see if I can pass Algebra 2. Personally, you're all good. You're all good, dog. I know that it's a valid form of mathematics and troubleshooting, but yeah, I Algebra 2 is that one thing that I just can't grasp. Because A plus B equals go yourself. It's a number plus a number to equal a number. That's why it's math. There are numbers. I get that you've got variables, but what kills me is every time I've taken Algebra 2, I've gotten all of the answers correct on the tests. How I got to that answer is completely ass backwards.
You gotta use the FOIL method. You know about the FOIL
And
method?
well, and my thought was, listen, and they were like, you have to do it this way. That doesn't make any sense to me. If I do it this way, I come up with the same answer.
Or the PEMDAS?
What's up?
Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Come on now, DJ.
Hashim says every time Zach gets a haircut, I do a double take. Oh, yeah.
Exponents, multiplication,
Yeah.
division,
It's like statistics
addition,
and calculus.
subtraction.
That's some craziness.
PEMDAS.
All right. Now we're going to bring up our beautiful case. This is a CLX Ra Evolve X2 in white. There's a lot of really cool features on this that we want to show you. Let's see here. Lido Drip says, you guys ever do any dual PC setups? Or no, dual CPU setups. I used to run a dual Xeon board for doing 3D renders, and it gamed pretty well too. I remember those days. I don't know that I've seen a dual CPU board in a long time.
Yeah, we still do those. They're just only for servers right now that we see, at least. You can definitely do other stuff with them, but yeah.
Yevzer says,
the Epic one, like last week, the
Yeah.
motherboard swap.
Oh, yeah.
Like a dual Epic.
I did Epics. Yeah.
Yevzer says, where did the other guy go with the long hair? Well, he's still here.
Hey, y'all. New guy.
Rat mentions, Ratlero says, abstract math is hard. You know what's even harder? Abstract dance. Just saying. There you go. A lot of choreography from hell. Hey guys, so I haven't been here in a while. So when did the mustache go, Paul? Says Joey Wheels. Excellent question, Joey.
Last Friday. Man, me and Zach are running out of options here to change our physical appearance.
Why was that?
I just got bored with it. My wife really did not like it. And I let my 4-year-old help me shave it, so because she was like crying.
Dear
She didn't
God.
want it to go. I was like, well, what if I let you do it? She's like, oh yeah. So
Yep, you know what they say. Happy wife, happy life.
yeah, we might go back to the beard now and then bring the mustache back again, maybe for Halloween.
Now, something to note about this processor, about this case as it's standing,
Oh yeah.
is because now we do a lot of 2/5 and 2/3 cases where the motherboard doesn't sit directly on the back. This is a little closer to the back than most of those cases, but it still gives you just a bit of room so you can really, really work out that cable management, which is super important. Now, when you set your motherboard down on the motherboard, and set it down on the case, you want to make sure all of your
Standoffs.
you want to make sure all of your standoffs are lined up with each of the holes that need a standoff. Why is that important? And what happens if you have a standoff that's underneath a part of the board that doesn't have a hole?
Okay, so the standoffs protect your motherboard from being shorted out by the frame of the chassis. So that is why you want to have those in all the right locations. If you've got an extra standoff in a spot where there isn't a motherboard mounting hole, it is going to short something out on your motherboard, which could be a minor issue to frying the whole thing. So definitely want to be careful when you are installing your motherboard.
Yep, I know of a content creator that did not take that advice, and it was an on fire situation.
It died.
Oh my god,
That's crazy.
It died. It melted. Like it was like what? Oh my god. All right, so now we're getting this in here. Obviously, you can see he's getting the screws in.
Disrespect.
Oh, GG. I had fun with Guy whenever we hung out, but everybody else is like, it's drama. I'm like, just drank. There we go. So now we're going to put this in the top. When it comes to mounting your fans, your radiator, there are a couple different options, but on a model like this, there's only one, correct?
Yeah, this one is a little different in this X2. So there's a tray that we talked about when Zach was putting the fans on the radiator. That tray needs to be sandwiched in so it can fit nicely up here. Now, why it does this is because of the design of the case. It gives you a super clean look. It's flush with the top, so you can't see it, which is what they're going for here. So the end result looks really good. It's just something unique to this case that you got to know, because when we first got this case, we didn't know how to make that radiator fit.
Oh my God. Joy Wheel says, yeah, I learned that lesson about the standoffs the hard way. I killed an Asus saber-tooth motherboard a while back.
Now the saber-tooths are extinct, thanks to Joey.
Yikes. Jesus, Joey, it's all your fault. One thing I do want to point out about this case, it's really fun. I actually love this because there's a lot of people who are not sure where they're going to put their PC, whether they want on a desk, on the floor, on carpet, on linoleum, whatever. They'll notice the platform that's on the bottom that's got the 4 legs up. So it keeps the system away from anything else. It ensures there's clear pathways for air, and it keeps you from experiencing electrostatic discharge. So what are some really good tips for where to place your PC when you get it?
You just want that space at the bottom to remain as unobstructed as possible, because it is going to get its air in. Now this case has a built-in pedestal. That's what this is called here. So you could put this thing upside down, hang it from one of those hooks that you hang flowers on from your ceiling. You could do that if you had some cables long enough. So yeah, you can really put this thing anywhere.
Lito mentions, I want my PCs, and I said, well, okay, that's lit. It's lit like Lito. I swear to God, all of my jokes today are terrible. I was hoping it was, what's up, smiles like Joker? I was hoping to get to see your build. You never know. There's still an after show today. There's an after show today, right? Yeah.
Yep.
We've got an after show today, and there's more builds coming. Zach's going to spend the afternoon with y'all and going to flow through a whole bunch of things. It'll be fantastic. Now, speaking of things that are fantastic, I would like to point out real fast what Zach is doing. So, part of cable management is identifying and isolating all of your case cables, but then managing all of your fan cables. Zach, what's the best practice for that?
Yeah, so I really like to go by the photography rule of thirds. You have 3 different groups of cables in every computer. You have your case cables, which is going to be your front power, your HD audio, and USB headers. You're going to have your fan cables, which is what I'm tying up right now. And then the last is going to be the power cables to make everything run.
There you go.
Sorting everything, it makes it a lot easier to troubleshoot if we ever do have to troubleshoot stuff. You don't have to undo a whole bunch of zip ties if everything is tied up as one. It just makes it a lot easier. And then as far as plugging fans into a specific order, I like to look at this rear fan as being my fan number 1, and then going around the case in a circle or a loop. And that makes it real easy to plug everything up.
Nice. If you, for some reason, need to swap something out on your PC or your rig, no matter who built it, it is a great concept and idea to take a picture of the way the cable management is when you take the back off, so you can return the cable management back to the way that it was. There's probably a reason for it. Let's see here. I got an email an hour ago that my build is now in production. Heck yeah! Because we're fast and furious, dog.
Nice.
Yeah.
Family.
Carlos says, this is like watching a man do computer surgery. Yes. Yes. You know what else it's like? It's like discovering new and fun things to play with that we haven't actually played with before. But before we get to that, we're going to do a power supply.
Sorry.
I saw the box. I was like, all right, let me segue into that. Yeah, there we go.
Oh,
We'll hop back on that Segway ride a little later.
true.
Yes, there we go. So for our power supply, this is going to be an ASRock Pro 850 watt 80 plus gold. Now this is a pretty strong power supply. But what kind of a power supply is it?
This is a non-modular power supply. So all the cables are pre-soldered in right here. That's why you see them in a bundle. We won't be using all these cables. You're usually not going to use all the cables that come with these. So we will have some extra that we'll bundle up. But the other kind would be a modular where none of these are pre-soldered in and we'd have them separate.
So if you were to happen to have, say, a modular power supply unit and you wanted to swap it out with a larger one, can you just leave the power cables in place?
No, those power cables are proprietary to the specific model of your power supply. So even if it's the same brand, you still need to use the other cables because they're different between the models. Sometimes a couple of them stayed the same, but I would never risk it.
Got it. Yes. Also, if you find that you've got a whole mess of extra cables because it's a non-modular, tie them up. Please do not cut them off. That would be exceedingly horrific.
Bam.
Yes. Nicely done. Okay, one of the things I'm loving about this case is the silver. The silver plates on the front and the back.
Nice.
On that top and the bottom. It just looks smooth. It's very smooth. All right, are we ready to talk about it? Mm-hmm. All right, now, I've never seen one of these before. Zach apparently used one on Thursday, which I wasn't here for. I was actually flying to Sacramento to marry people. This is a Gigabyte 5070 Ti, but it's an Eagle. What the heck is an Eagle?
Eagle is what, our national bird? National animal?
Mm-hmm.
Bald eagle is. Look at
Yeah.
that. I'm halfway to being a national treasure. I'm already bald.
So close. Gosh.
So close and yet so far. All right, let's take this apart and see what it is. Gigabyte takes some incredible hardware. Everybody knows that. But this is an Eagle, and I've never seen one. I'm super excited about this.
You're about to see one born.
A lot less messy than watching an elephant birth. All right.
It's a rhino.
There's no placenta.
I'm not
there.
sure where that came from.
Those rhino births.
Yep.
They're very
Although
hot.
I love rhinos. I made great friends with a rhino named DJ down at the Australia Zoo in Brisbane, and because they knew I was coming down to see DJ, so they took me back there, and we got to do the whole meet the rhino and feed the rhino thing, and it was fantastic. But when they run, because they're excited to see you, everything shakes. The ground, you, until they skid to a stop, and then they become a very large dog with a horn. That's basically it. All right. So this is one of the new white models that we've seen. This has become a much more of a trend, kind of like what I've got. I have a white GPU. This is another white GPU. It's got its fans already built in. One thing, now notice what Paul is doing. It is imperative, please. It is imperative that you make sure you've got all the plastic pieces off of the graphics card. Why, you say? Because the graphics card is going to get real hot. And that's not going to do much for that plastic. In fact, it's going to melt that plastic. It's going to smell gross. It's going to Now, as far as this looks like it's just simple. It's a dual.
It's a two-slot card. Yep, two-slot card. We got 3 DisplayPort, 1 HDMI coming out of it. Yeah, pretty nice design here. I like this all-white card.
Yep.
Kind of aluminum black plate with a little bit of blue. Looks very good.
Yeah. Now, when we mount these, oftentimes we try and regulate how much weight we're putting, how much stress we're putting on the motherboard. And that's really dependent upon the weight of the card. Now, we've had some big cards that definitely need an anti-sag device. But how do you feel about that with this one?
This one wouldn't need it. We do have a built-in one with the Evolve X2, so we are going to be using it since it's there. But if you were doing this at home, I wouldn't say it would require one.
Yeah. And anti-sag devices are important for a very specific reason. Well,
Yes, so over time, if you've got a really heavy card, it's going to start to sag.
Sitting sideways.
You don't want to be like Paul Wall. Which can cause damage to your card or your motherboard, so you want to avoid that.
Well, and like what Lito mentioned earlier about the PCIe slot coming off, that is also something that could happen because of too heavy a capture card. Too heavy of a graphics card. So, Cosworth, what's up, Cos? Are we gaming today? Cos says, my old 980 Ti had its plastic still on it for 3 years. Oh my God, that makes my head hurt.
Thing was holding on for dear life.
Right. Like, it'll be fine. What's that smell? Don't worry about it. Oh my gosh. I once had a spider in my system. And trust me, the spider caught on fire.
Oh boy.
Yep. I didn't touch that thing for a week so I could find somebody who was willing to come in and clean it out for me. Because I'm like,
good time
nope.
for the spider joke, Zach.
I'm like, no. One thing to note is you've got on the bottom of that motherboard, you can see right here, it says Strix on it. There's these plates that are down there, and they actually serve a purpose. Those are also heat sinks. But what goes underneath there?
More M.2s, so you got more room for NVMe drives. I think there's 4 extra ones on top of the one that we've installed, so yeah, plenty of room for those.
That's what I love about ROG Strix. ROG. It's made to feel you. There you go. Up. All right. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Now, one thing you can notice, you can obviously see on the left-hand side at the lower end of the machine that's where the power supply unit is. Now, the reason it's positioned there is actually to help with airflow and heat management for the system. How is that, Paul?
So it's down there. It's going to get its own fresh intake from the bottom here. It's going to shoot all that out the back of the case, so none of that's going to be into the main body of the case.
And that's important because you want to try and mitigate any extra heat going in there. The silver sidings on these always get me. They're fantastic.
A nice brushed aluminum look there.
Well, and they did the same thing on the bottom as they did on the top. The fans are just recessed just enough that you really don't see them if you're looking straight on.
They sure did.
But the light that they're going to put off is going to be wicked. That's the one thing I love about, like, my build is a white build. You can see all the colors just dramatically. It's fun. It's fun. Now, we're going to get ready to put our graphics card in. Some people have a very specific way of doing it, but Zach has a way of doing it so that you don't break anything. So, Zach, what are the big, now that you've ripped your glove, what are the big guidelines for how to install a GPU?
Yeah, so what we want to make sure is that our PCI lane is clean and nothing is down in there. And then this motherboard has a spring release on it, so we just want to make sure that that is open, and it already is open. And then this being a 2-slotter, we will go ahead and peel out 2 of these guys. Pretty easy.
Yeah. What are you supposed to do with those covers once you've taken them out for your graphics card?
Throw them in the garbage. Unless you plan on using them again, I don't know. Throw them at your sister, I don't know.
Throw them at your siblings.
Use them as max tracks for your RC car.
There you go.
Click, and there it goes. That is a really slick card. I gotta say, like, my ROG Strix 3090 is a thick card. This is thin. I really dig it. And of course, it's Gigabyte. They do great things.
Pronounced gigabyte.
They are now the replacement for EVGA. We miss you, EVGA. There we go. Now, I think we're getting close to where we want to be because we've got the power supplies all hooked up. How are you feeling about it so far there, Zach?
Oh, yeah. One day at a time.
Lito mentions, I keep it all in a box with my spare cables in case I upgrade components later. It makes resale experience better. Okay,
Smart
I'm a little on the bonkers side of that. I keep all of my packaging boxes for any product that I'm given, just in case I need to put it back in it to travel with it. That means there's a lot of boxes in this house. All right, now as Zach gets this put back together, what I want to do real fast, I want to take you over to see how you can get your hands on a CLX Gaming PC right now. At CLXgaming.com, we try and make it as easy as possible for you to get the PC of your dreams. It's going to work for you and do what you need it to do, and if not more. We have multiple different form factors, whether you're looking for something smaller or all the way up to our RAWs. We have small, medium, and larges. They're great. Once you get into the actual build, though, this is where it gets really fun. There's no shortage of options. It's basically a one-stop shopping center. We got Intel. We got AMD. We got Radeon. We've got NVIDIA. We've got ARC. We've got it all. So once you choose your stuff, it'll work out well. And the best part is you can't screw it up. Notice how the little green button went yellow? It's not jaundice. It's because there's something wrong with the order. Now that means, in this, shut up. In this example, we've got a graphics card that needs more power than the power supply is giving. So they're basically, the system's going to say, all right, you can choose one of these power cards that will work with this, one of these graphics cards that will work with this power supply, or you need to choose a different power supply to work with that graphics card. Once you fix it, it goes back to green, and then you're on your way. Everything from extra hard drives to sound cards, capture cards, we've got it. You want extra hard drives? Yeah, we got those too. Now, as you pump over to the Foundry, here's the fun part. So the Foundry deals with our cooling. So you can get an AIO. Obviously, we saw that installed today. You go with an open loop system, which is a whole different ballgame when it comes to cooling. And if you want your CPU overclocked or your GPU overclocked, we can do one, either, or both, which is fantastic. We can upgrade your thermal paste. That's some good stuff right there. Once we get to accessories, this is where everything starts to just go, yes. Because the first tab has all the CLX gear. And that is where you can get t-shirts and windbreakers and hoodies and caps and stocking caps. But we have more. You need, obviously, if you're a gamer or a content creator, you're going to need a keyboard. We got those. You need a mouse? We got those. We have two different buttons for mice. You need a controller? We got you covered. We've got headsets. We've got mics. We have Beacon Mix Creates and Beacon mics as combos. They are fantastic. It's a great way to help organize and operate your stream right there. And it's a USB-C that sounds like an XLR. It's good stuff. We got speakers. We've got monitors all the way down to routers and a chair. So technically, you could get everything you need to stream with right here.
What about boxers?
There you go.
Do we have
What about what?
boxers?
Go be free.
No, this is a no.
Who would model those here?
This is a sarong only situation.
Okay.
There we go. So now a sarong. It's a. Never mind. I'll tell you later. Now, some people might find that a little bit rough or just a lot of information. That's okay. We've got an area called the RTS, or the ready to ship section. And that means we've got PCs that have already been built, tested, and are waiting for a home. They come in 4 different ranges, from low, medium to high, and then ultra high. And this gives you an idea of how your money's going to be spent when you're looking at the different models. And it also gives you an idea of what you can maybe go up on and what you can go down on, so you can get the right price for the right machine that's going to work best for you. So for all of your future PC needs, whether it's gaming, content creation, or more, head on over to CLXgaming.com and see what we can do for you.
Yeah, CLX socks for our CLX foot cam.
Yep, I'm glad that got banned real quick. The AI mods got our back.
Wait, I missed some. Sucks.
Kick.
Legendary Hawk! What's going on, my dude? Always hilarious. All right, so let's take a look at what we built for Cole in Texas. Here we go. I love the color spectrum and profiles that these cases have.
It looks
These
good.
evolves, oh my gosh. That shot right there is fantastic. That's money shot right there.
Oh.
That's gorgeous. Absolutely wicked. I dig it. All right. Now, I did mention one thing there, Paul, when I was talking about our RTS section. I mentioned that we take these PCs and they're tested. What does that mean? Where is this going to go once we get off the show?
Yeah, so once they're built like this and turn on, they go to testing and integration. So the first thing we do there is get to the BIOS of the machine. We'll make sure our RAM speed is set correctly. All of our storage devices are showing up. And then once that's done, we'll load the system. So typically Windows, but whatever operating system you want, we can put on there. In that load process, we don't put anything extra. So you're only going to get a clean, fresh install of the operating system. Now there are some games you can pick on the website to have preloaded, so we can do that for you, but you're not going to get a whole bunch of different anti-spyware, anti-malware, antivirus programs, all that stuff you don't want. We don't do any of that. So, and then after the system is loaded, we stress test the system for 12 hours. So it puts it through a burn-in cycle using different benchmarking softwares to make sure everything's stable. And then once it passes testing, it goes over to QA to get one last check, and then it sends out to you.
So, a couple things. First of all, Bindi Rover mentions that white box is clean, bro. I love it. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. And then Bindi Rover asked, do you guys ever do a mineral oil build? And I love this question because I'm still fascinated by the mineral oil builds. But, Paul?
We have not done one on the show, but hey, if enough people want to see it, maybe we'll do it. I'm sure we could do one of those. That'd be pretty fun. I wouldn't mind doing that. Call up our boy Diddy, have him send in some oil.
I was going to say the same thing. I was trying to not be inappropriate. I'm like, well, we know where to get the extra. It's in evidence. All right.
Yeah, maybe we'll look into that. Yeah, if you guys requested enough, maybe we can get that going for you.
All right, so today's show is going to happen in two parts. Like normal, we're going to take a break in just a few minutes, and when we come back, you're going to get to spend the afternoon with Zach. This show happens every Tuesday and Thursday starting at 11 a.m. Pacific. That is 2 Eastern. On Tuesdays, we are exclusively on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. On Thursdays, we're exclusively on TikTok, so you don't want to miss those shows, because that's also where things get built that I didn't get to see because I wasn't on it. True. Not better. So if you want to stay up to tune to everything that's going on, the latest and greatest with all things CLX, all you have to do is follow our socials, and then it's going to be CLX Gaming for YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and Threads. You want to get into our Discord, where we've got a bunch of like-minded gamers and PC enthusiasts. That's discord.gg/CLX Gaming. And with that being said, we want to say thank you to Jason and Kyle in production, Paul and Zach. I'm DJ Blue PDX. Don't go away. There's more coming up after the break. We'll be right back.
Bye-bye.
Bye.